You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. The fact that these officers were fired 24 hours after the fact. I mean, what I keep hearing, I've had black entertainers call me today who are pissed, who are angry. They're saying, people who are just literally upset by saying, how many more times are we going to have to deal with black blood being spilled in order for things to change in this country?
We got to keep up the fight, for one. But they're calling you, Roland, because this is the most powerful video I've seen in 35 years as a former prosecutor and as a criminal defense lawyer. And the power of this video and what really strikes you at your heart is that it is silent, it is slow, it is 10 minutes with a knee on his neck. He was suffocated, right? Now, this wasn't him running from the police and them shooting him in the back like in South Carolina. This wasn't a struggle over cigarettes or selling cigarettes. He was not resisting. They had complete control of him. Now, something happened between the time they walked him away and how he wound up on the ground. Notice the police in that video did not challenge that officer. That officer was senior to those other police officers. Whether there was an exchange with the deceased or the retainee or detainee or that officer, something happened. And then you see 10 minutes of the public narrating his journey to death. It was a narration. The knee was on the neck. He looked up and looked at the crowd. He sneered, went back, looked back down to make sure his pressure was there, looked around. He knew he was killing this young man. Or if he didn't know, he certainly was treating him worse than an animal. But it was silent. There was no resistance. So you watched a murder take place. That's what is getting the reaction to this. There's absolutely no reason why these officers ought not be charged right away. And more importantly, my good friend Robert Patillo, who was on, this is one where the Fourth Amendment, his rights are violated. You may get your U.S. civil rights or DOJ civil rights prosecution on this one, because there is no other fact or intent here other than to violate this gentleman's rights and to essentially kill him. He had his knee on his neck. He suffocated him slowly in front of everybody while the crowd narrated what was going on.
Robert,
just tremendous.
Robert,
just
what was interesting, again, watching the video that we're not going to show. We showed it yesterday, so no need to show it again.
Okay.
Was that, Robert, we're watching this. Nobody tells the cop, say, dog, get off his neck, put your knee on his back. I mean, the reality is this here. Okay, first of all, I've never detained anybody. But I can tell you, as somebody who's done a horseplay with nieces and nephews, all right, if I'm trying to hold down one of my nephews, I'm not going to put my knee on his neck so that he can't breathe. I mean, give me a break. He's handcuffed. He's down. And this officer literally, his hands are in his pocket, chilling. Just chilling. And the guy's talking, he's kind of like, I don't give a damn if he's talking. He look at the crowd like, what? God, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Robert, I mean, this was just complete callous behavior of this cop.
Well, and Roland, on that point, I think that that part of the video is what's going to determine whether or not this is, in Minnesota, there's first, second, and third degree murder. What more likely is going on right now is conversation between the Fraternal Order of Police and their attorneys, and also the state's attorney's office regarding what the charges will be, when he will be charged, and when he'll turn himself in. I don't see a set of circumstances currently where those officers will not be arrested and charged. It's just a question of what those charges will be and when they'll make the strongest case. Reverend Jackson today had the opportunity to speak with Keith Ellison, the Attorney General there in Minnesota. So there's also the chance of state charges coming down, and the Department of Justice has already launched an investigation into hate crimes violations in this case. So what people have to remember on this question of malice murder or first-degree murder with intent, intent can be formed in an instant. So at the point that the man was detained, at the point that he no longer posed any flight risk, any sort of threat, when that officer looked up at the camera and smirked, that is the forming of an intent to kill.
Exactly.
He knew or should have known that his actions were could be reasonably calculated to cause the death of another. That constitutes malice aforethought, which would bring this from third-degree murder, being a reckless or negligent killing, into the realm of being a first-degree murder, where you form intent. Because this isn't a situation where he was accidentally holding someone down and their neck snapped on accident, or where you hit a fleeing subject with your car and kill them. This is a situation where you slowly and methodically killed a person over the course of several minutes, and I don't see some circumstance where you cannot charge that as being a malice aforethought and a first-degree murder. So these are the conversations that are going on behind the closed doors. I don't see us going into the weekend without an arrest being made.
Amisha, when we talk about where we are, the tremendous amount of anger among African Americans is very clear. Again, and see what happens is when you have these people, when you have the Candace Owens and you have the Jason Whitlocks who go, oh, LeBron, oh, the rest of you shouldn't bring these things up because you're of means, and so therefore you're not impacted by that. Well, Steven Jackson has made millions in the NBA, but he was friends with a George Floyd. You saw the tears. He's impacted. The cops didn't do it to Steven Jackson, but they did to Steven Jackson's friend. So when people somehow say that because you might have a certain education or you are of means, this does not impact you. Well, Christian Cooper went to Harvard, is of means, and a white woman sure wanted to call the cops on him in Central Park. I don't care who you are. If you are black in America, you are affected by the reality of your race.
Exactly. And it's an important narrative to point out and call it out whenever we see it, Roland, because there is an ideology in this country that there is something known as the good black person, or the black person who is educated, the black person whose career is spotless, the black person who has never had any criminal interaction with the police. All of a sudden, that person is elevated as someone who will never have to encounter any type of racial injustice. And we've seen that be completely untrue time and time again. There is absolutely no reason why we should have a case in Minneapolis where a police officer would literally have his knee on someone's neck and watch him die. You had so many people who were just standing there in the crowd calling out, begging this officer to remove his knee. We're watching now video after video, and black people don't need these videos. Voyeurism has never moved us to action. We know what's happening in our community. We know how other blacks are targeted. White people need these videos. But even with them, they fail to step towards the action that they need to. In Minneapolis, over $6.4 million has been utilized for equity training amongst the police department itself. Still, we have 13 times the rate of black police-involved killings than they do anybody else. So I think that, we also have to look at that. The fact that these racial equity trainings and these lenses that we fund to the utmost when it comes to trying to get police and policing unions to see that black people are human are just not working. We have to understand that there is a significant portion of the American population, of the white population in our institutions that are dead set on making sure that black people are having an experience that is very different from the rest of this country. We see it in the way that these instances play out in the media. We see it in black protests being labeled as riots, whereas white protesters are out there with their guns, rifles, everything else, and are not seen as dangerous in any way. We see it when we're literally trying to call for justice and those calls are not heard. Just last week, we had Republicans, black and white, shout down what they saw as a racist comment from Joe Biden. However, where are they now? Where are these same people? Where's Lindsey Graham? Where are these folks who found such racism in those comments? But when racism leads to death, you don't hear anything from them.
All right, folks, back to that Roland unfiltered video in just 1 moment. All right, folks, we want you to support the black-owned company Ceek. Mary Spiel, sister, she created these amazing headphones. I love it being black and gold. I know, Scott, it's all good. And again, they are 360-degree sound headphones. Y'all should have a slideshow. Y'all should be rolling. Thank you very much. She created these Bluetooth. You can listen to them for gaming as well. Folks, the sound is amazing. Let me tell y'all something. I got about 10 pair of headphones. I've got Bose. I got a whole bunch of them. But these 4D 360-degree headphones are amazing. They've got a great discount for those of you who support this show. You can use this code to get these headphones. They're phenomenal. Right there. All you got to do is go to Ceek.com, use the promo code RMVIP2020. RMVIP2020. In addition to that, folks, she created this virtual reality headset. All right, so come back to me, guys. So this is real simple. If you go to Ceek.com, or if you're looking at some 360-degree videos on YouTube, you simply place your phone right here into the headset. And then what you do is you just put the headset on, just like this here. And so you can then watch these virtual reality videos here as well, folks. I'm telling you, it's a whole different experience when you've watched a VR video or a 360-degree video, because what happens is the way it's shot, you can literally look all around you, and that's the whole deal. In fact, next week, hopefully we're gonna have it taken care of. I actually shot some 360-degree video right here in our studio, and so we're gonna upload it so you can be able to see literally this entire set. You can see the whole set. You can see what's on the side, what's on the behind. It's pretty great. So go to Ceek.com and you can get this VR headset, or you can get these headphones right here. Don't forget, use that promo code RMVIP2020. We support Black-owned businesses. This is a sister. She's a native of Ghana. She actually created these devices. She has that site, Ceek.com, and so it's some great stuff there. So please, we want y'all to support Mary Spio and Ceek.com. Don't forget, RMVIP2020.